And that God, whatever he does is all right. Whatever he wills is all right. My life is your Lord. Have your way. In the name of Jesus. Let go and let God. In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And have worshipped it, and have sacrificed to it, and said, this is your God, O Israel, who brought you from the land of Egypt. The Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, they are an obstinate people, hard-headed, stiff-necked. Now then, let me alone. This is God talking. Let me alone. Let my anger burn against them, that I may destroy them, and I will make of you a great nation. Then Moses entreated the Lord and God and said, O God, why does your anger burn against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians speak, saying, with evil intents he brought them out to kill them in the mountains, and to destroy them from the face of the earth? Turn to your burning anger and change your mind about doing harm to your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by yourself and said to them, I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heavens, and all the land of which I have spoken I will give your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever. So the Lord changed his mind about the harm which he said he would do to his people. You may be seated. My subject for this morning is, if waiting is painful, what about the after effects? If waiting is painful, what about the after effects? Now, according to the New Illustrated Bible Dictionary, wait can be defined as to remain in readiness or expectation. In Scripture, the word wait simply means anxious, yet confident. In expectation of God doing something for his people. In other words, waiting is working out of the hope. Now, the Webster's Deluxe Dictionary says this about effect: power to bring about a result. Power to bring about a result. You know, I was paying attention to Minister Barry in Sunday school this morning, and for some reason he has my notes, and I just want y'all to, those that are in Sunday school, to kind of throw a rock at him once this is done. Because somehow what he said Some of it is on my paper. I don't know how it happened, so it must be God. Now, society has a problem with waiting. For the rest of our lives, we're going to have to wait. Whether it's at a stop sign, whether it's at a train station, wherever you go, in the grocery store, you got to wait for that paycheck. You can't go to those people and tell them, give me my paycheck today. I don't think so. I don't think anybody in here is able to do that. Whatever you're doing for the rest of your lives is something that you're going to have to wait for. But we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for a train. We don't want to wait for a police car. We don't want to wait for nothing. We act like it's a sin to wait. Oh my God. We don't want to wait for anything. But let me not even mention when there's a blaring siren going around, for you to move out the way, you don't want to move, no wait. You'll just sit right there. But if it had been your family in need, you would be asking somebody else, you need to move over. As we wait, we should be waiting in expectation of God to do something for us. He said he would, but you've got to ask him to do it. After all, waiting is only a learning experience. How is it a learning experience? Well, first of all, we learn to have faith in God. In his word. Next, we learn to trust him at his word. And lastly, we submit to his will. Not our will. Forget about yourself. We got to submit to his will. Now, according to Wikipedia, Percy Spencer, the one who invented the microwave by accident, first of all, it was named the Radar Range. And it was first sold in 1946, even though it was actually made in 1945. It's a very popular oven. Very popular. It's so popular that people cook whole meals in it. And I don't think it was intended for whole meals, but people actually do that. It said it can cook some things, but I've never read where it says it can cook whole meals. I think in a lot of people's eyes, that's their bestie. They can't live without a microwave. There's no way they can live without a microwave. But in this millennium, if it's not microwavable, it's not edible. I ain't going to be able to have that. Well, we know the story about what I just read. How Moses went there for 40 days and nights, and he was on the mountain. And we know that story. But what I want to point out is some things that many of us may not know. So I thought that would be beneficial to you, to learn something new today. Yes, Moses did live to be 120 years old, and his eyes were not dim. But his years of 40 were divided into 3 sections. That was very important to me. The first 40 years, from his birth until the flight into Midian. As Pharaoh's son, Moses learned how to be somebody. The second 40 years, from the flight into Midian to the Exodus, he was in the desert places and he learned how to be a nobody. He was all by himself. But those last 40 years, from the Exodus to his very own Exodus, as a leader of God's host, he learned that God was everybody. He didn't need nobody. He didn't care about anybody else. He was the one that he could speak to face as a man speaks to his friend. Yeah, that Moses. Moses was a lawgiver. Moses has all kind of things that he has done. But did you know that you can compare him to things that he and Christ have in common? Did you know that both of them were preserved from the perils of infancy? Did you know that both were tempted but had mastery over evil? Did you know that both of them knew how to fast for 40 days and 40 nights? Their solitude was their strength. Did you know that both had power to control the sea? Both fed a multitude. Both had a radiant face. Both endured people talking about them. Both were discredited at home. Both were mighty intercessors. Both spoke as the oracles of God. Both had 70 helpers. Both established memorials. Both reappeared after death. Well, the situation is letting us know in this story that people, they didn't want to wait back then. Now, the Bible's over 2,000 years ago, but people didn't want to wait back then. But in reality, in this particular case, they weren't waiting for Moses. They were actually waiting for God to get finished with Moses. Right. That was about to kill them. Since Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, the people did become anxious. They started speaking disrespectfully about Moses. keep your mouth off of God's people.
Amen.
Be careful what you say.
Amen.
Be careful who you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about when you're saying something negative about God's people.
Amen. That's right.
Amen.
They demanded a tangible sign. Oh my God, how many of us are always worried about something that they can see to the point that they can't do what it is that God is asking them to do? But even though they demanded a tangible sign, as God's presence, even though they demanded a tangible sign, God was doing that through Moses. But they just couldn't wait. He had him up there so that he can get the 10 Commandments, which he wrote with his own fingers, so that he can tell them, these are my laws. This is what I want you to abide by. This is the blueprint. But they didn't want to wait. But you know, it's ironic how they wanted the visible sign of God's presence, and they only had to wait to see it for themselves. Not to be anxious and forget about the things that God was trying to teach them and show them all that time they were in the wilderness. Remember, they were in there for 40 years. And the pitiful people pleasing Moses. The pitiful people pleasing Aaron. It's so sad when we try to please people. It's so sad that he lied. It's so sad that God has given you an assignment and you'd rather lie about it or not even do it. But Aaron came up with something and saying, oh, I got an idea. Y'all say y'all want a God that y'all can see? How about y'all give me y'all jewelry, and I'll make a new God. Y'all got to remember, we cannot please God with golden images. How is this going to please God? What do you see in this that's going to wake you up this morning? How did this become your master healer? How did this wake you up? Start you on your way. Put food on your table. Save your soul. How did this come about doing what the master does? And you're saying, oh, but I'm going to serve this. I'm going to serve this. Why? Because Aaron said, this is the God that brought us out of Israel. So you mean to tell me I'm going to look at this calf? You got to make it rain. Calf, you got to send down manna from on high. Calf, you got to make it snow. Calf, you got to take away the